Good morning to all. It's an immense pleasure for me to welcome you all for this webinar on Financial Freedom, a Path to Success. Now, I request our HOD, Dr. S. Kalyarasi, to present the welcome address.
Good morning to all. I'm very glad to welcome our today's presenter, our management, principal, faculties of NIFT-TEA, and participants to this webinar. I take this opportunity to welcome our resource person, Dr. Nanjappan, to this webinar, who is working as a HOD in Commerce, Kongu College of Arts and Science, Karur. He has a teaching experience of more than 14 years. He is a specialist in SPSS and trainer for soft skills. He has made analysis for 19 PhDs so far. Sir, we are proud to have you for this webinar. Once again, I welcome you all.
Now the session hands over to our resource person. Sir, it's over to you.
Thank you, madam.
You're welcome, sir.
Good morning to all. It's a great honor and deemed privilege to be here as a resource person for this webinar, Financial Freedom, a Path to Success. First, I would like to thank the management, principal, the HOD madam of NIFT-TEA College, Tripur, for having given me this opportunity. Thank you all. Let me start about this webinar. I think this is a right time to speak about the concept financial freedom. As the entire world is in a pandemic situation, those who are having freedom in their finance are feeling comfortable and happy than others. Finance is essence of everyone's life. So we all know that without finance, it's very tough to lead the life as well as it's very tough to do the business. So in the case of business as well as individual aspects, finance forms paramount important. Let me go into the financial freedom concept. First, you must understand what is financial freedom. Financial freedom is a term that we often come across nowadays. Different people come up with different definitions. Some say it's about buying what you want and when you want, having no doubt or having no debt in the life, being able to support yourself, or simply being rich. The primary feature of financial freedom is a feeling of security around money that will be of service to your goals rather than a source of stress. It's not about being rich and having tons of money, but having enough to cover your expenses so that you can spend your precious time doing what you like rather than doing things just to earn money. So I classify this financial freedom into two aspects. One is business aspect and individual aspect. So let's see the business aspects of financial freedom. Everyone is aware of the fact that most of the business is getting failure in their first year of operation. Often, major contributing factor that leads to failure is poor financial management. As many reviews of the financial information we have studied for the failed business shows that the business would have actually been quite successful if the owners had just made sound financial decisions in all the aspects of business. It is always recommended to employ the help of professionals like even banking institution, financial advisors are there, even accountants, chartered accountants, even in the field of legal, some lawyers are there. So we must take the help of these kinds of personalities. Only then every business can be successfully run. However, a business owner should understand at the very least the basic principles regardless of whether a professional is hired or not. This protects the business and the business owners from risky activities. Keeping up to date with the finances and being aware of the principles involved will also beneficially affect other aspects of running business. If you are a businessman or an entrepreneur, want to enjoy the financial freedom in your business, you need to plan an industry that would perfectly suit to your business. Therefore, you need to plan about an industry. So planning about the industry, you must choose a particular industry which is ideally suitable for our business, is a wise idea for a financial freedom. And the next step is to search the industry which gives return for a long term. Because if you are making an investment in a short term, putting a lot of funds in a short term is going to give you a negative result. Therefore, if you are interested to enjoy the real financial freedom, you must look forward to make an investment in the long term aspects. Because once investment is made, that cannot be taken back immediately. Therefore, planning becomes a paramount factor. We should also consider the available industry in the business location or where we plan to establish the business. So next, let's see different kinds of industries which are available for investment to have the financial freedom. So as many as a lot of potential industries are available in the present days of business. So as an investor or as a business person, if you are really interested to enjoy the real financial freedom, what you should do is choosing a right industry for your right capital. There are plenty of industries are available. The nature of business we proposed should be chosen for making investment. Once the right industry is chosen, automatically that will give you a good fortune. This will help you enjoy the financial freedom. So you can see the list of industries in the screen. So which is ideally suitable for your investment. Actually, how much fund you are keeping and what kind of business you are going to start from this industry, everything should be planned very carefully with the assistance of the experts in the particular field of industry. So once you choose a particular industry, as an ideal investor, or if you want to be a leader in the field of business, you should make a proper analysis about an industry. So an important activity to be discharged by a businessman is to assess the nature of an industry. So here you can see the analysis activities, and this first one is intensity of industry rivalry. So how many competitive units are available? That is a key factor to be analyzed by an investor. These are directly affected by all the factors mentioned here. Lack of differentiation in products tends to add to the industry or competition. High exist cost like fixed assets, government restrictions, labor unions, etc. also make the competitors fight the battle a little harder. So therefore, you should never go for a stiff competition business. You should choose, you want to enjoy the financial freedom that should have the least competing force. And the next one is threat of potential and entrance. So some of the business are free open. So many people are freely enter into the industry or companies, so that you, the business person, face the constant risk of new competitors. If the industry is difficult, whatever company enjoys little competitive advantage reaps the benefit for a longer period. Also, under difficult entry circumstances, companies face a constant set of competitors. The next is bargaining power of suppliers. If the industry relies on a small number of suppliers, they enjoy a considerable amount of bargaining power. This can affect small business because it directly influences the quality and the price of final product. Next is bargaining power of buyers. So at the time of choosing an industry, the most important factor what you should consider is bargaining power of the buyers, because due to the lot of competition now, there is a lot of information technological development. People are very much aware, that is consumers are very much aware about all the kinds of products. Therefore, they are having freedom to make the bargaining. So therefore, the complete opposite happens when the bargaining power lies with the customers. If consumers or buyers enjoy market power, they are in a position to negotiate lower prices, better quality, or additional services and discounts. This is the case in an industry with more competitors, but with a single buyer constituting a large share of industry sales. This will reduce all the profitable position Therefore, that is going to put you in the financial trouble. And the next one is threat of substitute goods or services. The industry is always competing with another industry in producing a similar substitute product. Hence, all firms in an industry have potential competitors from other industries, not only from the same industry, but also we may get competition from some other industries. Therefore, this takes a toll on their profitability because they are unable to change exorbitant prices. There is going to be a lot of entrance into the industry that may create a stiff competition. So next, once the choice of industry is over, the next important thing is to plan a business in that particular industry. Once you are very much comfortable with a particular industry, the next important step you have to take is business plan. The chosen business, which requires investments, source of materials, type of products to be produced, market for the products, planning about source of finance, which means own source or borrowed means of finance, who are all the competitors, marketing methods, and a self-assessment is to be made is called SWOT analysis. So as a businessman or an entrepreneur, if you really want to enjoy the financial freedom, you should consider all these things. Successful financial plan in business, which requires a sales forecasting. So you should have an estimate of your sales revenue for every month or quarter or an year. So identifying any patterns in your sales cycles helps you understand better about your business. It is also invaluable as you plan marketing initiative and growth strategies. If you are doing a seasonal business, you will have profitable potentiality only during that particular season. The rest of the off season, you have to keep your business idle, but you cannot reduce the fixed overheads. Therefore, you should plan how to make the maximum possible profit during the particular season, and the rest of the off season, you should look forward to stock the materials which are required for the boom season. Next, you need to plan about the expense outlay. A full expense plan includes regular expenses, expected future expenses, and associated expenses. So expected future expenses are known future costs such as tax rate increases, increased minimum wage, or maintenance needs. If you are doing a business every year, the cost of expenses is going up or it's skyrocketing. So you cannot control over the overheads. So therefore, you should prepare a proper budget to meet out those kinds of unexpected future expenses, such as these kinds of expenses, damage to your business caused by fire, flood, or unexpected disasters. During those days, if you are not having adequate finance in your hand, that's very tough to manage those kinds of situations. So therefore, you should always work out an expenses plan or expenses outlay. Next important point in the case of business plan, you need to consider statement of financial position. So asset and liabilities are the foundation of your business balance sheet and the primary determinants of your net worth. So every business which is having a good net worth can beat all the competitions. They can survive long in the business track. So tracking both ensures you maximize your business potential value. Small businesses frequently undervalue their assets such as machinery, property or inventory and fail to properly account for outstanding bills. So therefore, you need to concentrate on your financial position, also financial accounting activities. And for a successful business plan, the cash flow projection forms an important one. Similar to protecting your expenses, if you want to save your business as an owner, you should be able to predict their cash flow on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. A cash flow projection gives you a clear look at what money is expected to be left at the end of each month, which is enabling you to plan a possible expansion or other investment activities. And in the case of business, one of the important points to be calculated is break-even analysis. So break-even analysis is also the best way to determine your pricing, because if you want to stand long in the finance marketing and you also enjoy the financial freedom, you should always concentrate on the break-even analysis and pricing of your products. A break-even analysis can tell you how many units you need to sell at various price points to cover your cost. You should aim to set a price that give you comfortable margin over your expenses while allowing your business to remain competitive, because the people are considering the products primarily based on the prices than actually what you are concentrating on other features. So next, you should make an investment in the growth assets. It is important to set aside money and also look into the growth opportunities. This can allow your business to thrive and move in a healthy financial direction. And regarding the tax, you should make the spread out tax payment options. If you have a trouble saving for your quarterly estimated tax payments, you make it a monthly payment instead. For example, if you are doing a business, you need to return the quarterly, that is advance, quarterly return as well as the advance, tax advance to the income tax department. So therefore, you instead of paying on quarterly basis, because if you are making a bulk payment, that will affect your work, that is your working capital flow. So therefore, in order to avoid that working capital flow, you can make the payment on monthly basis. That can keep you financially safe and you can enjoy the financial freedom. And also, as a businessman, you should have the discipline and have the good financial habits. So establishing the internal financial protocols, even if it's as simple as blocking up set time to review and update financial information, can go a long way in protecting the financial health of your business. So keeping up with your financial activities and good financial habits that can help you mitigate fraud or risk. So as once we talk about the risk, business as a businessman, you cannot do business without any kind of risk. So in order to enjoy the financial freedom, you should also concentrate on the risk and you should have the knowledge, clear knowledge about the risks which are associated with the business. So risk is inherent in any business enterprise, and good risk management is an essential aspect of running a successful business. So let's see what are the kinds of risks which are associated with business. And there is first and foremost one of the risk is market risk, which involves the risk of changing condition in a specific marketplace in which a company competes for business. You take for an example of telecom industry. So Airtel, it is leading, but in the case of Aircel, there was a company, an Aircel, that cannot compete with the existing competitors, and they withdraw their service and they declared bankrupt. So therefore, these kinds of market risks are happening in your business. So therefore, you should plan about the tendency of retaining the existing consumers by giving better services as well as an advanced services. One example of market risk is the increasing tendency of consumers to shop online. Nowadays, people are shopping right from their home itself. Therefore, they are not visiting the business premises. This aspect of marketing risk has presented significant changes to traditional retail business. Therefore, you should think of avoiding these kinds of risks. So you should enable your business to meet out the online as well as the premises sales. The second important risk as an investor you should consider, as a businessman you should consider, is credit risk. So this risk incurs by extending credit to customers. If you are offering the products on credit, definitely there is a great possibility for a credit risk. It can also refer to the company's own credit risk with suppliers. So a business takes a financial risk when it provides financing of purchase to its customers due to the possibility that a customer may default on payment. So next risk is liquidity. So liquidity risk includes asset liquidity and operational funding liquidity risk. Asset liquidity refers to the relative ease with which a company can convert its asset into cash should there be sudden substantial need for additional cash flow. So operational funding liquidity is a reference to daily cash flow. Therefore, you should always keep on maintaining a working capital, that is a liquidity in your hand, in order to meet the day-to-day expenses and retain the reputation in your business, also to avoid the risk. And the next one of the risk is operational risk. This risk refers to the various risks that can arise from a company's ordinary business activities. The operational risk category includes lawsuit if there is any legal risk arises or something. In the case of pollution issues or some other issues, somebody may file a suit on you. So therefore, you need to spend some amount to face those kinds of risks through the court of law. There is a possibility for fraud risk. This is quite possibility is this. There is a huge possibility for getting fraudulent activities in the business, personal problems. So there may be a strike in the case of hiking their salary or some other possibilities, or turnover in the case of labors, and the business model risk. These kinds of quite obvious risks which are happening, and they are called as operational risk. So next one is legal risk. As I mentioned earlier, legal risk matters requires the assistance of trained lawyers with the associated cost. You need to pay the cost for your lawyers. The legal risk for a company refers to any financial losses that arise as a result of legal proceedings. So once the legal activity or legal risk arises, even you are forced to shut down your shutter of a business. Therefore, you should always having a very clear vision on how to avoid this kind of legal risk. Next, equity risk. So if you have chosen an investing industry, that is a share market industry, so equity risk is there. This risk refers to the level of risk involved for a business trading on the stock market. A volatile market can make it almost impossible for a company to value and equity stocks that it holds accurately. In particular, a falling market can spell disaster for a business that hasn't undertaken the necessary degree of financial planning. So the next risk we have to see is interest rate risk. So interest rate risk is the risk that movements in a variable interest rates will affect financial performance by increasing interest expenses or reducing interest income. So if you are a businessman, you are borrowing a lot of money in the case of debt financing or bank loans or any other means of financing, the cost of interest is keep on rising. You are falling in the risk of interest bracket. So therefore, you should always properly plan on which source of finance, that is equity finance or borrowed means of finance, which is going to be highly suitable, that should be chosen. So if you are doing a finance business, you mean that is a banking business, you are lending money for interest. In the case of reducing interest rate, that will also make you suffer the income. In the case of interest rate risk, I would like to say something about that. Changes in market rates of interest, as I told you already, that will affect the fixed rate securities where they are market to market, in which case the capital value of the securities will change. So the next and last one in the case of risk is foreign exchange risk. So obviously today a lot of people are doing export business, especially Tirupur is an export, highly export potential. It's having highly export potential, which fetch a lot of foreign exchange revenue to India. So therefore, if you are doing an export business or doing import, whatever it is, foreign exchange risk is always there, which describes the risk of variation in the rate of exchange used to convert foreign currency revenues and expenses and assets or liabilities. For example, if you are making an agreement or you are entering into an agreement with a foreign company for the future contract for the purpose of importing or exporting, at the time of quoting, the value of foreign currency and the domestic currency may be different. But at the time of executing your order and getting payment, at the time of converting the foreign currency into your domestic currency, the value may be cheaper. So therefore, you will suffer because of this interest rate fall or exchange foreign exchange rate fall or rise. So next, I would like to tell you how you can have the freedom in the finance in the business. That is financial freedom strategies in a business. So first one, we want to enjoy the financial freedom in business is never underprice your solution. Some people have a tendency to price their products or services low during the beginning days of their business. For example, if you are entering into business, everyone is having an intention that we want to capture the maximum market. Therefore, we need to offer the product at a free of cost or the minimum price. So this idea is that low prices will set them apart in the market. However, as operating cost increases, once you charge minimum prices due to the rising operating cost, you need to increase the price in future. When this happens, your loyal customers may be offended, that is, may be agreed of your price hike, feeling that price increase are unfair. So automatically, this will collapse your financial freedom. Therefore, you should be very, very cautious in pricing your product when you are entering into the market. The second one is don't hire until you have the funds to afford. So here affordability is very, very important. So another common financial risk is hiring employees based on contracts and promises. So you may appoint or you may contract so many employees into your business with an intention to producing the maximum possible. But in the business world, there are times when contracts become promise of the future revenue. The contracts are not equivalent to actual money in the bank. When it's time to pay your employees, for example, if you are not having the affordability to make the payment, you will need to have the funds in your account to cover the payroll cost. Because once you are not making proper payment to your employees, automatically that will spoil your reputation, and not only the reputation, you have to close down your business because most of the labor intensive industries are facing these kinds of problems. So resist the urge to hire more employees than you can afford before you promise or actually converted into money. And the third point is never borrow money you don't need. This is very important for the financial freedom point of view. So qualifying for a business loan can feel like a great accomplishment. For example, once you are approaching any kind of financial institution or banks, so nowadays due to competition, so just by putting a signature, banks are ready to lend a lot of money. Irrespective of the business plan you have submitted to them, they are ready to provide you a lot of money and they are ready to approve your business proposal. But banks are having the power to collect interest from you, and if you are not paying proper interest, even they can seize your property. But in the case of your business, if you are taking loan for an unwanted purpose, you have to pay the interest unwantedly. Therefore, that will put you in trouble. So if you don't truly need a loan, don't sign for a loan documents. And if you are in need of funds, borrow only what you need to help your business grow. Paying interest increases your financial risk, decreasing your overall return on investment. So you need to concentrate on the return on investment. That's a wise activity to be decided by a businessman. So next, don't depend on just one revenue source. So most of the business people are concentrating on a unilateral activity, that is a single source of income. So you need to think your business revenues like stock portfolio. So more than that is a different kind of investments. When it comes to the investment in your portfolio, the majority of your company's revenue needs to come from more than one source. So often times a startup, if you are doing a startup business, you have to spend most for your time serving your early customers. So in the case of initial business activities, so you cannot focus on multiple kinds of business. First thing is you need to catch up the customers, initial customers, and you need to serve them better. Only then you can attract some other customers into your business. So therefore, it is very tough to do the multiple source of business in the case of initial stages. Once your business is going up well and you are having some affordability to increase or expand your business operation to different kinds of region, you can think of making investments for the purpose of getting multiple revenue sources. And the next point is don't fill too many overhead positions. So as I mentioned earlier, so keeping unwanted expenses always going to be a burden to you. So every person with your company who receives paid compensation should have a justifiable position. Some of these types of positions include those who serve customers, develop products, and converts leads into sales. Some of the people you are appointing for them, they are not directly engaging in the manufacturing activities. They are only focusing on the development activities. So once you are paying higher for those kinds of developing activities, laborers or employees, this is going to increase a financial load on your head, and that will put you in trouble. That will give you a serious financial risk, especially if they don't produce anything or make the company money. This will effectively decrease your company's overall return on investment. And the next important thing is ensure everything you invest. So once you put an investment into any kind of business, so you need a protection for your investment. If you really want to enjoy the financial freedom, you must know the tendency of shifting your risk on others' shoulders. So you should never always be ready to bear the risk of yours. So for you, the other should be ready to bear your risk. That is called as making proper investment or taking proper insurance policies. This enables you to be free from any catastrophic incidents happen in your business. And the seventh point is decision making with the help of experts. So in business, decision making is an art and smart. So you have to take an art of decision, at the same time it should be smart. If anything goes little wrong, that will make you everything flop. So you will get a flop. Your business is going to be totally flop. Therefore, it is always advisable to see the help of experts in taking decision, particularly in the case of finance decision. The next important point is direct management and supervision. Most of the occasion, the financial losses happening in a business is that there is no direct management and supervision of the owners or the entrepreneurs. As an owner of the business, you should always keep your direct presence in your business to make a moral fear in the minds of employees who are working for you. So otherwise, they may steal away or they may sweep away all your financial amounts, and that will put you in trouble. Next, effective utilization of government schemes. So if you are really planning to enjoy the financial freedom, you should have an idea about the government schemes and subsidies available for the development of your business. This would help you reduce your financial commitments and also a safety to your business. As your business is funded by the government, you can always enjoy the safety. You can reap the benefit of financial freedom also. So the last one is have an emergency fund. So we are in the pandemic situation. If any emergency happens like this, if you have already exhausted all the money or drained out all the bank balances, it's very tough to meet out the emergency commitments. Therefore, a wise idea in any business is keeping a reserve, that is an emergency fund. For an example, in this COVID, most of the companies closed their shutters as per the government instructions. But at the same time, they have to pay the expenses like salary to their employees, rent, etc. Because the government has given a mandate to all the business units that the employees should be given proper salary during this COVID period, that is lockdown. Therefore, it is always advisable to keep reserving the profit for meeting these kinds of emergencies. So with this business, financial freedom in the case of business aspect is over. Next we switch on to the financial freedom for individual. So here there are a lot of things. As an individual, you need to think a lot of ideas and you need to gain a lot of information to enjoy the financial freedom. So I would like to start with an example about individual financial freedom. Before that, let's see some of the financial freedom quotes. So money is a good servant, but a bad master. If you keep the money under your control, automatically this is going to work for you. But once you lose the control over money, automatically that will dominate you and you are going to be put under a pressure. Next one is losers react and leaders anticipate. If you really want to enjoy the financial freedom, you must be dare enough to face any kinds of failures in your business or in the walks of every life. So you should never worry of getting failures, because failures are the collection of experiences that will guide you and that will save you whenever there is any risk which are going to happen in your future. If you have, and the next quote is, you have to move from just working for money to a world where money works for you. So this point is telling us that you should not work for money. The money should work for you. And the last quote is, make money even while you sleep. So this is called as real financial freedom. So the money should always work for you and that should always generate income even if you are sleeping. So take a look at the picture I would like to show you. So this is a menu card. So if it happens to visit a restaurant for a dinner and you are keeping the menu card in your hand, probably most of the people start reading from right to left. So whoever may be, whether you are having an extraordinary amount in your pocket or wallet, you always start reading right from left than left to right. It happens because our mind thinks about the amount which we keep it in our pocket or wallet. On the other hand, if you are totally free from any financial burden or enjoying the financial freedom, you never think about the price, but you would probably willing to buy anything irrespective of the price. So mostly we are having a common psychology that, so instead of seeing the dish, so sometimes if you are going with a family, because of the non-affordability, some of the people are those who are in the low income group, they may not be affordable to spend a lot of money in the case of hotel. They are always uh, focusing on the minimal prices of items, or the family head or some other person in a family, they are going to sacrifice their interest in the case of foods for the purpose of budget. And the next one I want to show you is when we, the human, always dream to get the luxury for our life. As you all know that the safest car which shield the human life during the accident is BMW. A lot of reviews have stated that BMW is a very safest car in the car industry because of its strong metal body. Everybody is having desire to drive that BMW car, but in reality, our financial commitments and fear about the future, which forces us to buy a budgeted segment car, this Tata Nano. This once upon a time, this was introduced as a dream car for the small families. They can afford to buy this much. So therefore, in order to increase your affordability, what are the things you have to do? So if you really want to enjoy the financial freedom, you want to attain all the things, whatever you desire for it, how you can have those kinds of products or the life or luxury, whatever it is, what are the things you have to do? Therefore, in order to achieve the financial freedom by an individual, let's see the points one by one. First, invest in your future. Here, I would like to tell you a case study about an investment. So, before 20 years, two researchers, that is their name are Benartzi and Thaler. They made a research on blue collar workers about saving money for their retirement life. So initially, the laborers hesitated to invest even 3% of their paychecks, that is their earnings. But the researchers persuaded the employers to divert 3% of their pay, that is the laborers' pay, to save for the retirement plan, and requested them to add 3 more every time when they are getting additional hikes in their pay. The results were amazing because after just 5 years and 3 pay rises, that is 3 times of increments they got it, those employees who thought they could not afford to save were setting aside just under a big 14% of their pay checks, that is their incomes. They could have earned 14% of their salary. So they could not believe what actually done this. So on 65% of them were actually saving an average of 19% of their salaries. You look at that picture. So during the year 1998, they could save only 3.5% of their salary. They were able to buy only shoes, that is boots. After 1 year, they were able to buy a bicycle. And in the year 2000, their earnings has risen up to 9.4%. They were able to buy a scooter. And in the year 2001, their affordability has been increased from scooter to motorcycle with a saving amount of 11.6%. In the year 2002, they even did not believe it. They were having an affordability to buy a car with an investment capacity of 13.6%. They could able to save 13.6% of their salary. And the second point is make a budget. This is an important activity. Once money is seen, people automatically become spendthrifts. So once we see the money, automatically we plan to spend irrespective of our requirements. The majority people fail in finance is lack of making budget. So So in your every earning, you have to allocate at least 20% as a portion for future. So next, you have to pay your debts, that is borrowings in time. So credit card and similar high interest consumer loans are toxic to wealth building. That becomes poisonous. That is going to be a slow poison. Once the interest is keep on increasing, automatically that will start killing you gradually. Therefore, make it a point to pay off the full balance each month. If you are going for long-term, low-interest loans like mortgages and other similar types of loans, they are having minimal interest rates. Paying them off is not an emergency. Paying on time is and will build a good credit rating. If you are making a prompt payment, automatically you can get a very good credit rating, and your score in the case of finance industry, particularly in the case of banking, your CIBIL score will automatically increase. And in future, if you are in need of money, you can strongly take a very big loan amount from the financial institutions. So next, start investing now. There has been no better way to grow your money than through investing. The magic of compound interest, you all know that the effect of compounding will help it increasing exponentially over the time, but you need a lot of time to achieve meaningful growth. So just making an investment today, and you should never dream, having a daydream that tomorrow it gets double. That's not a good idea, or that's not a good attitude. So you should wait for some time until it gets maturity. Don't try to be a stock picker or trick yourself into thinking you can be the next Warren Buffett. So people are nowadays, they are having crazy of making investment in the stock markets without even not having a basic knowledge about the stock market. So people are thinking that they're falling as a prey of giving some of the advertisements that if you make an investment that becomes double within 40 days or 50 days, we are offering some of the tips that will double your money within a week or single trade. So they are falling as prey for these kinds of wrong advertisements. Automatically they are thinking that they are going to be the next Warren Buffett. You all know that who is Warren Buffett and who has earned plenty of money once upon a time. He is the world's billionaire. Now he is having a lot of financial background because of making investment in the stock market. So they are immediately thinking that they are going to be the next Warren Buffett in making investment in the stock market. So what I want to tell you is there is going to be only one Warren Buffett. So others are not going to become a Warren Buffett. So the logic for one person won't work for others in this same kind of idea. So that's what I'm telling. You should make an investment what you can afford. So what you can save, what is your earning potential, and how this you can lead the life after setting up that income of your, that is investment from your income. Next, making a negotiation or bargaining power. You should keep always a bargaining power. So many people are having hesitation to make a negotiation for buying goods and services. It is a worrying factor. Mostly, if you are making a negotiation or bargaining, you can get the product at a very cheaper price what actually they were telling you. So overcome this hesitation and you could save thousands each year. So once you make a negotiation as well as bargaining, automatically that will reduce the cost of products. If you are a business person or an individual, whoever it is, you try to make the bargaining or make the comparison with the competitive products. Small business in particular tend to be open negotiation. They are open to negotiation where you can buy in bulk or repeat business can open the door of good discounts. Next, continuous education. So you keep up with financial news. You should always keep on acquiring or updating the financial news and developments in the stock market and also in the investment fields, and do not hesitate to adjust your investment portfolio accordingly. If you are doing a business, and there is a news that this industry is going to be closed down very soon. For example, in the case of motor industry, from the year 2025, the government has given a mandate that the industry can survive only then they can switch over from the fuel industry like petrol, diesel to the electronic version. So once this is going to be implemented, automatically your existing industry has to lose its shine. So therefore, you should keep on updating the knowledge in the field of investment as well as business. So as an investor, or if you are working in an industry, you should always keep on updating the information. Once that particular business is going to be closed down, so you should not look here and there where to go or how to earn and what to do, what is going to be the next day bread and butter. These kinds of ideas should not be keep it in your mind. You, as an employee or as an employer, whoever you are going to be, you should keep on updating with your market news. So therefore, this is going to be a best defense against those who prey on unsophisticated investors to turn a quick buck. So next, proper maintenance of property. So taking good care of property makes everything from car, if you are having a car, or even if you are having a shoe or the clothes, so last longer. So whatever the kind of property you possess, you should always properly maintain it, as the cost of maintenance is a fraction of the cost of replacement. If there is going to be a minor damage happens to your property, so you are going to get a burden of making replacement of the particular property. It's an investment, not a luxury. Therefore, you should not spend a lot of money in the case of unwanted item, and if there is any fraction of expenses arises, that is a maintenance requirement arises, you have to immediately concentrate on it and get that should be properly rectified. Next, take care of your health. So invest in good health with regular visits to doctors and dentists. Even sometimes you may have the dental problem, and health becomes a very problematic one for everyone in this present day's life. And follow health advices about any problems you encounter. Many problems can be helped or even prevented with lifestyle changes, such as more exercises. You have to concentrate on developing your health by doing exercises and keeping and eating healthier diet. Some companies, if you are an employee, if you are working for an employee, the company which are giving you only limited sick leave days, that is sick days, leave for those kinds of sick days, making it a notable loss of income once those days are closed up. For example, if you are getting a sick, the company is providing only 10 days for your sick. If you are taking more than that, automatically your earning capacity is going to get reduced. So therefore, you should concentrate on the health. That is, you need to concentrate on the obesity and ailments. Also, you should concentrate on taking the insurance premiums. So the poor health may force early retirement with lower monthly income. For example, if you are having a health issue and you are probably in India, the normal retirement age is 58 years. But if you are having a complication in your health, you are forced to retire in the early years. So therefore, it will automatically affect your financial flow. The next one is spending less. So by spending less, two things work in your favor. One, you will have more money to put aside for your financial freedom. Second, you will learn that you actually need a lot less stuff to survive, which also helps you to put aside more money. If you plan to buy a costly gadget, for example, mobile phone or whatever it is, you must think twice or as many times as possible, because this is going to be really useful to us. Even for education of your children, no need to spend much by comparing your neighbors or others, because spending much for the education is also going to be a burdensome activity, and that will never let you be free in your financial aspect. Next, create additional source of income. If you are serious about financial freedom, you have got to sacrifice some blood, sweat, and tears. So, without making any hard work, you cannot enjoy anything else, because keeping a single source of income would always keep you in stress and pain. Therefore, you should always have the plan B. Even though you are very comfortable in the plan A, you should supposed to have the plan B that should help you in trouble when the plan A which not works properly. Next, make sure you have enough insurance coverage. Yet another thing you have to concentrate is taking life and health insurance policies. Life policies give you two benefits, that is investment as well as the risk coverage. Most of us are falling in the unknown disease which cost higher for paying much money in the case of medical expenses. Sometimes we have to spend the amount which hardly earned for the entire life to medical emergencies. So keeping policies are always safe. Shield as much Shield as much income from tax as possible. There are plenty of avenues available to reduce the tax liabilities. You can get multiple benefits when you make your taxable income in investment. Those investments give you an additional growth, and that you need to pay tax as or tax free. And finally, I would like to conclude with few words. You should be dared to fail. Only then you can be financially free person. With these words, I would like to conclude my presentation. Hope you have gained some ideas about financial freedom, and I wish everyone is safe and attains success. Once again, I thank the principal, head of the Department of Commerce, faculty members, and all the participants of this webinar. My special thanks to Dr. Karupswamy, Assistant Professor in Commerce, NIFT-TEA College, Tripur, who has approached me for this webinar. Thank you all.
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam.
We had a wonderful session, sir. You have given a good message, which is required for all of us who are suffering from financial crisis, sir. Of course, it's a way to success. Thank you so much, sir. And we do have some questions to ask. Let me ask one by one, sir. The first question is,
Yes, ma'am.
Give some suggestions to overcome unexpected financial crisis during this period.
So actually, unexpected, if you are working in a college or some other industry, so here the people are not ready to, that is, employers are not ready to give you full salary. So therefore, you are standard in your financial position. So most of the people are getting problem of their underpaid salary. So in order to overcome this situation, you should have already planned, and you should concentrate on which kind of source is going to protect you from these kinds of hindrances.
Hello.
Hello?
Sir.
Madam, you got it?
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. Next question is, how would be the investing position in his stock market after COVID-19?
So because we cannot determine it. So what is going to be in the future? Because future is an uncertain one. So as you know, the risk is everywhere. The stock market is always going to be volatile. So at the time of the COVID stock, our Indian stock markets has got big crash. So now they are becoming a very great recovery. So gradually they are becoming a recovery, and ups and downs are there. So till the end of the COVID, we cannot determine anything. So it may take 3 or 4 months. After that only, whether it is going to be a good source for making investment or not. So it is always advisable and better to make an investment in the mutual funds than choosing the particular stocks in the stock investment.
Thank you, sir. Sir, is it safe to have recurring deposit or fixed deposit in development grid bank, which gives higher rate of interest?
Madam, actually, that is in the case of recurring deposit, if you are an employee getting salary every month, you are depending the salary is only the source, it is always advisable to go for RD, recurring deposit. But if you are having an abundant money in your hand, so you can make a bulk investment, that is fixed investment. You know very well, fixed investment is always giving good return to the investment than recurring deposits. So therefore, that is purely based on the person who is having the financial position. If you are having abundant money, there is no other source for making investment. You can go for fixed deposit. And one benefit is there in the fixed deposit is, so whenever the financial emergency arises, automatically you can take a loan from your investment. But in the case of RD, there is no such possibilities there.
Okay, sir. Next question is, Jio, firstly, they have given plans free of cost and then sudden price hike. Why?
This is what actually I told you, madam. So once you want to capture the market, even in the case of the Tamil dailies, Dinagaran, they started giving the newspaper at a cost of 1 rupee. So once the interest is created, you know, the Jio, which has made a revolution in the field of telecom industry in India. So before the Jio, the people were totally depending on the 3Gs. So after the introduction of Jio, I think almost more than 1 year they offered a free service, 4G services. So this automatically forced the people to buy the 4G handsets. So once you started using the service or benefit, so automatically you are psychologically you cannot skip it and you cannot completely come out from that. So that they have created interest in the minds of every customers, automatically they started charging it, and there is no other choice whether you like it or not. Once you enjoyed it, automatically you have to go for continuing that. This is the tactics they introduced at the time of launching the Geo 4G.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering all the questions, sir. And thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being with us so far. Thank you, sir. Now I
Thank you, madam.
request, thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. P. Balamuthukumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, NIFT College of Fashion, Tirupur, to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all. I would like to thank our today's presenter, Dr. Nanjappa Chinnaswamy, for giving his constant to our resource person. I thank our management and principal for presenting us to conduct the webinar, and I express my gratitude to our HOD and faculty members of Commerce for their wonderful support. I thank our technical team for their support, and also I would like to thank all the participants for attending the webinar. Hope you all enjoy the session. Thank you, one and all.